top of the league. Liverpool, we used to it now, aren't we, Lee? It's just magnificent. But Barcelona, honestly, how did Laporte get his wallet out? Did he, 8-9 minutes of injury time and a goal? Rafinha, pushing Mo for Ballon d'Or. What a night, gents! What a night! What a performance! I think it's been a really, really good performance. The score may kind of give a little bit of jitters conceding at home, but it doesn't matter. Liverpool win again. It's the countless games in the Champions League. It's the first time that we've conceded in such a long time. We're going to talk a lot more about that. I've got some really, really good guests on tonight. My name's Charlie. I'm joined by Stitches. How are you, Stitches?
I'm good. I'm good. Just enjoying the ride, loving
Yeah,
every
man.
moment of it. Like I've got like a force field for negativity. Just it's all bouncing off, mate. I'm just enjoying everything. It's brilliant, beautiful.
Yeah, can I come into that bubble, man? Because there's some things. And I counter it by just talking about other teams, but I'm not going to mention names because that's just it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Michael, how are you, my friend? It's the first time that we've spoken on stream, but I'm really really happy that you're here. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm happy because I see we relaxed discussion we had with the team and how I was clamoring for players from the bench to be actively involved in the team. I'm happy with what I saw today. I'm happy with the performance of the guys from the bench, how well they were able to deliver from their position of play today. And it just shows that everybody has the potential. And
Yeah.
it's just how well you harness the potential in anyone. They give the best that they can. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. We're gonna get into it a little bit more and talk about substitutions. But Patricio, how are you, my friend? It's been a long time as well. You keeping well?
Yeah, good. Thanks. And I think obviously we played really well today. I was a bit like thrown off a bit by the starting 11. It wasn't the starting 11 I was expecting, to be honest. Not everyone there, but
Mm.
but I think with the players we did do, I think we used all five subs as well. I think we played really well. So yeah, excited for it. But yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really good. Again, I, I'm just enjoying the journey. I'm loving where we are. It's a great start to 2025 for any Liverpool fan. It's a shame that we can't really treat the last game as a dead rubber. But it is what it is. PSV. But Barcelona, they need to go to Atlanta and win there to even get a sniff of being top right. But yeah, I'm going to come back to you, Patricia, because you just mentioned about the starting lineup. Um, you said you were surprised. I just wonder what was it that you were surprised about? Mo starting, Allison, Virgil. Was it something that you thought, oh, actually, we should be seeing more of the bench players that Michael was talking about?
Yeah, so it's sort of like Kwanzaa starting as well. I think the fact that Bradley over Trent was a bit of a statement there, and
Mm,
the fact that we had obviously Jones alongside Soboslai. I think it was good that we started Jones, and I like the fact that I know we're talking about the starting 11, but I do like the fact that he did utilize and brought on Elliot. I think that was a,
mm.
a well needed sub, and you can see that he's very switched on in game, really wants to push high. So yeah, I think. Players played amazing, and I'm glad that he brought Chiesa on as well. That was nice
Yeah.
to see. Do you see how happy Chiesa got when Harvey Elliott scored? He was the first to celebrate with him, and he got really excited. So yeah, that was quite nice.
Yeah, yeah. So in the thumbnail that I put for this stream, I got that actual image. Harvey doing his knee slide and Chiesa being the first one to come over. I love the man. I think he's brilliant. I'm so happy for him. I think he was really unlucky that the goalkeeper made a really terrific save, and unfortunately Darwin was just a little bit offside. Not the first time that we said that this season, but Darwin's Darwin. He's there. He's Captain Chaos. But um, Stitches, any surprises about you? Were you really surprised that Gravenberg was playing again? Any thought process as to why that was?
Yeah, I think that's the manager who wants the result first and foremost.
Mhm.
I think he went in fairly stronger than I thought he would. or actually, let me change that. A lot stronger than I think people this week believed that he would go. I felt he would go up there to get the result.
Stitches, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to Michael. I don't know if it's my signal or your signal, but we're just losing you. If you want to just sort out the Wi-Fi, that'd be great, and then we'll come to you just very shortly. Okay, Michael. Yeah, let's come to
Okay, no
you while
problem.
you while you're having a look at that. What were your thoughts about the starting lineup? A little bit too strong, or actually, Lille are a very good team. That they've performed really well for the last 20 games, unbeaten those 20 games, played some really good teams, beaten Madrid's, both of them, I'm sure. So why not give them the respect and play some of the big guns?
Um, I think like I said earlier, I mean, and I quite agree with the first statement that Stitches had made. It's not really too good in competitions like this, especially in the Champions League, for you to put like an underrating on certain teams. Like you mentioned, Lille against Real Madrid and the other teams that they played against, they've been outstanding. They've not been pushovers, and so it will not be too good to have like look down on the team and expect that you just push them over and walk past them. They played really well in the first half, like we saw. We also started very well in the first half, trying to contain their excesses and try to ensure that we are. I mean, within the ranks of ensuring that we do excellently in the first half, and then the second half we just blew them away. I'm really happy with the fact that, like I said earlier, some players that would be regular bench warmers for the team started today, and they really proved that they have the potential to give their best towards achieving what the team's aim is, and that is basically to win. Um, the style of play kind of changed. We saw Bradley doing something quite different from what we'll see in the other teams when you have the likes of the current state Trent and Robertson on the other side of the wing. But then it was quite different. I've always been, like I said earlier, clamoring for these guys to come on board. I've always been looking forward to seeing the likes of Smith Cars starting being in the starting lineup. I've always looking forward to see Trent being on the bench. Like let him feel that you can be on the bench and see somebody do what the fans, what the coach, what the spectators expect you to do. Yeah, which we have known him for. I believe that at certain point in time as a footballer, when you seem like you have reached a certain peak or a certain height, and it seems to be like a downward slope, you have to now take a chill pill, come back fresher, and then come on board, and then even as an opportunity for you to mentor whoever is playing in your position to do, and push the person to do much better, as against just being in that position irrespective of how you play, whether you score goals, whether you play poorly, just be there. I'm not an advocate for that. I play local football and I know how these things are, so
Mm.
basically, yeah.
Can we sign you up, Michael? Playing central defence for us, that'd be good. Stitches, I'm just going to come to you actually. So just hopefully the Wi-Fi is okay. I'm going to just focus on the fullbacks and predominantly the right back. Do you think it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that we actually had Bradley, considering there was a stat at half time tonight where 46% of Leo's attacks came down their left, our right, and the way that Goodmanson was playing, he probably would have caused, possibly, hypothetically, could have caused Trent a lot more danger than a really good defensive minded Bradley. Do you think that was
Yeah, uh,
potentially a good thing?
yeah. I guess it really depends what side you sit on and what your perspective is on this. but I think it was more to do with the fact that some of our players are what is often called in the industry in the red zone in terms of the amount of minutes that they've played. And it was a good opportunity to rotate the squad and actually get some minutes into players that are just coming back from injury and needed some minutes. So I don't know if Slot was sitting there thinking, "Oh, let me go with Bradley because Trent might, be under pressure from what Lille's gonna offer." And I think just to touch on one other point, I think a lot of respect has to be given to Lille. This is a team that hasn't been beaten this season, right? They haven't been beaten by anyone in the Champions League. I mean, who they played? They've played some of the top teams. I think they've played Juventus, they've played Atletico, they've played Real Madrid, and none of those teams could beat them. So, and we made it look easy. Let's be honest. Like, we gave away a sloppy goal, but that was a professional, comfortable performance. And I think the fullbacks performed really, really well today. I've been screaming for a while that Shimikas should be our number one fullback ahead of Robbo.
I'm with you on that one.
Based on his performances. And one other thing I just wanted to point out about Shimikas, his set pieces are actually like outstanding. They've
Really,
been
really
better
good.
than the deliveries he puts in from corners, the deliveries he puts in from free kicks. It's understated. Like, he put in that free kick, the corner the other day for Jota to come on and score.
Exactly.
Right? And I just think his deliveries are really good. Really, really good. We often look like we might score when he takes a corner, rather than coming with those that are you.
Oh, I think we've just lost Stitches
is
again.
that
I'm really, really sorry.
That me again.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
pause. I don't know what's
Cheers.
going on.
Yeah,
You can
that's
hear
all
me,
right.
but
Stitches, just come back whenever you can, mate. Patricio, we can talk about the goal. What a beautiful goal that was. It was, again, kind of coming back on what Stitches was talking about, Tsimikas winning the ball. It was legitimate. The fantastic ball from Jones, and then I'm going to let you kind of describe the finish from Salah and what your thoughts are about that itself.
Yes, I thought it was just a really nice over the top ball as well, perfect. And then the fact that Salah took it down and then outside the 18-yard box, just outside the D as well, just chipped, like, sort of finessed it top left. I thought it was really good from him. Sort of like back to the old Salah, I think the keeper tried to rush out, but just wasn't quick enough. And even then, just Salah was just on point. I think it was just to be expected. I think for me, more so it was the passing that the players are winning the ball back on that side, just the intensity from Tsimikas to win the ball back. Thought that was really good, and the fact that you've seen it from like Luis Diaz as well today. He's done a lot of that, and especially with Darwin as well. They've come back and tried to tackle the ball, and obviously won it quite a lot of times as well. You've even seen where Diaz has even swapped sides to go to the right hand side to track someone down. But no, I think it's a sublime goal and just what you expect, sort of Salah-esque goal. Lovely.
And it was just a shame. Mike, I'll come to you with this one. Salah's kind of second opportunity in the game where he took down that really, really good ball, magnificent ball from Diaz with that long pass and his first touch. And then, people talk about Salah losing pace, but he actually showed that he's still got it. He's taking the ball, he's running with the ball, he's closing down on goal. Unfortunately, it was just a slight, didn't open up his body to get the finish. But my word, what a player, what a move that was.
Yeah, I quite agree. A few sloppy plays by Salah, but then he's still the professional player that he is. He still got the quality, and we can't take away the fact that Salah is a goal machine. We can't take away the fact that Salah knows where and how to position himself when it comes to receiving the ball and making use of the ball. Sometimes he just gets sloppy that even in his passes, even in his deliveries, even in his targets, it just goes off more. I mean, not as expected, but then Salah Salah would still remain the king in the team. Will still remain the king in I mean, with regards to goals in England. And I mean, we can't take away the fact that Salah is a top player. But then I would wish that we have somebody that is understudying him. I wish that we have somebody that is like a competition for him in that position, because my fear currently is if Salah goes injured, which we don't pray for. If Salah goes injured, we don't want to fall into the situation that Arsenal find themselves right now, because you see what is happening to Arsenal is Saka is currently injured, and it's affecting the attacking play on the right hand side or on the left hand side of the field. So it's my fear for Salah. I just hope that it keeps up the pace and keeps becoming. I mean, keeps being a threat to every defense till the season ends. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's always been the thing, but the way that Salah looks after his body, he's no slouch. He doesn't allow these type of niggles kind of affect him. But Stitches, I'm gonna come back to you on that point. Um, there's looking at Arsenal, and the way I see Arsenal is they have excellent players, but they don't have the depth. Whereas I'm gonna let's kind of move on and go into the second half. And Michael, you've touched on it a number of times where we've got the substitutes, we've got the bench, we've got the squad. This game kind of really is a perfect example of the depth that we have in an attacking sense, right? So Harvey Elliott has come on. Jones came off, but provided some really, really good passes. Obviously, the stuff for Salah, and then my guy, my favorite player at the moment, Chiesa, maybe not getting the minutes, but I'm just hopeful that he's going to come good. But what are your thoughts about the attacking depth that we have, and do you have any worries about Salah and an understudy for him?
So the Salah thing is puzzling to me. I get it. I get people are worried about us
Mm,
being over reliant, but the reality in football is that there's always a superstar. Whatever team you want to pick, there's always a player who's the go-to player.
hmm
Facts. And our go-to player right now is in a purple haze of scoring, assisting, creating chances.
I thought
And
he's a one season wonder, Stitches.
well, he was, but 8 seasons later, we're still here, right?
Yeah,
So this guy is a wonder. And reality is, I don't actually think people fully comprehend how much he contributes to our goal scoring in
yeah,
terms of not just him putting it in the back of the net, but creating opportunities and the threat that he offers by being on the pitch and what that does to the opposition in terms of occupying defenders and creating space for other players to exploit.
yeah,
So I fully get the worry that we don't want to become over reliant on this guy, but we are. That's just facts,
yeah.
right? And he's our go-to guy. And when we
Mm,
talk about, and I completely agree, as he's aging and we're in a contract situation, there has to be a future plan. There has to be a plan for what happens next. And I'm sure that Hughes and Edwards are they're strategizing that as we
yeah,
speak. But the reality is he is here. He's an absolute phenomenon when it comes to keeping himself fit, right? And we have to make use of him whilst he's here. Now, when we talk about understudy and who comes in now, I think there's also a case that the manager's only been here 6 months, really, right? And a pre-season. And he's learning about who he can trust. He's learning about who can I rely on. He clearly isn't reliant on Chiesa for more than a half of football or 20 minutes right now,
yeah,
but he's ramping it up, right? Elliot has come back from an injury, and I think people forget that footballers are not robots, right? They're human beings. And coming back from an injury, you're not going to hit the ground at 100% and be the machine that you were before you got injured. You need time to warm up. You need time to get back up to speed. And I actually think that he's managed the squad really, really well. And I think what we're seeing now is that as he's got to know the players a bit more and they've got to know what he requires from them, as players have come back from injury, he's now actually starting to utilize the squad much more. And it is a strength for us. So when we talk about the likes of Arsenal and Saka getting injured, I'm not as worried as everybody else that if Salah gets injured, we wouldn't be able to cope, because when he goes to the AFCON, we've had to manage that situation. As long as it is not like a season-ending injury, right? If it's like, 4 or 5 games, I think we can cope. I think we have 6 forward players that can play in various positions, and we can cope. Will they be of the standard that Salah is in terms of what he's creating and what he's scoring? Maybe not, but it'll be better than what most clubs have got in the league right now. It's going to be better than what Nottingham Forest can do. It's going to be better than what Arsenal can do. It probably only isn't better than, and even maybe comparable to what City can do right now in terms of the quality that they can bring. And maybe even if you really think about it and you look at it deeply, right? Probably only Chelsea may have the kind of strength in depth that we do as a squad. And even then, there's question marks on the quality once you go past the first team. So I think we're in a very strong position. I think that people need to be not so much concerned, because I think as we go into the business end, and actually it's going to help us, because I think the style of play not being heavy metal football all the time means that these players' legs are going to be saved for the business end of the season. I think the fact that he makes a lot of substitutions in the game means this player is going to be slightly fresher. And now he's dipping into his squad, using the opportunity to rest people when he can. I see, we've got Ipswich on the weekend. It's going to be rotated again. We've got FA Cup game coming up against Plymouth. There's going to be rest opportunities there. I think his squad management has actually been really, really good. And I think as we go into the final furlong and we look at the last 10 games of the season, when hopefully we're in the finals of competitions, that thing that happens to us sometimes when we get into finals and we get to the latter stages where we don't have that extra gear to go and we run out of steam and Salah gets flat. I hope and I think we're not going to see that this season. That's my prediction.
No. And it's the hope of thousands and thousands, millions of Liverpool supporters across the world. I'm sure everyone's hoping for that we can actually see it through. But the evidence kind of does suggest that we're on a good path. The roadmap is there, and I think Slot he's definitely got that all kind of plotted out. It's not just game by game. He knows that he's doing it week by week, month by month, as to what he wants to plan for the remainder of the season. So Patricia, we're going to come. We've spoken really quite a lot already. 20 odd minutes. Second half, and straight away making substitutions. So we had Elliot come on, and there was someone else. I forget now. Who came on at half time. McAllister. Really, really kind of good performance from both of them. The second goal. Okay, maybe we could talk about their goal, and were you concerned about their goal and some of the habits that we've seen happen again, because it's another ball that comes from our right back position that comes into the box and we just don't deal with it again.
Yeah, I think second half was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think the subs were definitely it was good to just rest legs and have other people come on. I came back a bit late to the second half, but seeing Macaron give the intensity he always gives, always run around the pitch everywhere. He's just a machine. It was nice to see that Soboslai was able to get a bit of a rest then as well, because he put a great performance the first half. And then the fact that we brought Elliot on, I've always wanted to, ever since Elliot's been sort of back from injury and back in training, I've been wanting to see him hit the ground running again. I really think Elliot's a cracking player, and it's good to see him get the minutes, and you can see he has the love for it, the want to score, which is obviously evident of the second goal. It's just unfortunate it was a deflection instead of his goal entirely from him. But I think the subs were definitely utilized really well from slot. All 5 used, and it just gives time and minutes for players that are just getting back into it. Like you said, Chiesa getting more minutes, Elliot getting more, and I just think it was a bit of a switch up to not have Maka start with Szoboszlai, just to switch it up a bit, which obviously has helped us out. I think what you're talking about with the right back and sort of being sloppy, obviously us conceding. I think it was just a case of not chasing his man back. It was a bit late to chase him back. Obviously, then got put in the back of the net, which is sad. But it could have happened to us
It's
twice.
just Bradley. Bradley, you're talking
Yeah,
about.
this is Bradley.
Yeah, I think he just lost that half yard, didn't he?
Yeah, but he puts in so much intensity normally. So
Yeah,
the thing is, like, he was sound the rest of the game. And to be fair, I think there was like a second chance. I can't remember if this was when Trent was on the pitch or not at that point. But there's a second chance from Lille doing the exact same thing. But thankfully, Maka got a block on it. It nearly worked for them again, sort of going to the byline, cutting back in, passing it into. So I think it was Goodmanson.
yes, yeah. Actually, yeah. You're right. He just came. Yes, yeah.
Maka then blocked it with his right leg. So I think we were lucky to not concede there. But it just seems that, like, obviously he had tired legs, which is why he then brought Trent on for like the remaining 8 to 12 minutes, however long it was. But no, I think I really want to see Bradley start more games, to be honest. I think Bradley should start more and maybe rest Szoboszlai for a bit. Although I know Szoboszlai is like key to our matches, I think we should sort of start Jones for a bit and then bring on Szoboszlai. Maybe I might be wrong in that, but that's sort of my personal views. But
yeah, no. I mean, it could work. I think there's. I think with Jones, we've probably seen him when he plays in that kind of number 10 position, just behind the striker. It doesn't kind of work. He holds on to the ball a little bit too much. This is just a personal opinion, anyway. I would rather see Szoboszlai there. One thing we've probably seen, and Michael, will come to you about this one, Elliot and his intensity. So he's come on at half time and he's got up to speed straight away. He's putting in tackles, winning balls, coming deep, playing some really, really good passes. The vision's there, the tenacity's there. It was a really, really good performance from Harvey, just reminding everyone how good of a player he is, but most importantly, probably telling Slot, actually, you can rely on me for the second half of this season.
I mean, you just said it as it is. Elliot has been a growing player in terms of performance. I like the fact that he comes in and brings a different flavor to how the midfield is, right? For every time he comes in, you see there's a change. You see there's a new dimension as to how we play in the midfield. So at that point where it looks like we're all settled with Szoboszlai and Mark, I mean, he comes in and then there's a change. The attack becomes more active. Whoever is in front just knows that I have opportunity to be with the ball at any point in time. And Salah is just moving around his wing and getting the balls and trying to see how he can put it back at the back of the net. So for me, I think one thing I find about Elliot is his brilliance. He has this energy that pushes him to want to do what others will not do. So that extra edge that will put the team in the right position to win at every point in time. And it's just that super thing about him. And for me, like I said earlier, I keep saying, let's have these guys play more. Let's have these guys play more. Thanks.
I totally agree. So, Jay, thanks for the couple of quotes. Just really, really good. Stitches, I'm going to come to you about this. If you got any thoughts about Harvey itself, but Slot is there saying his performances were good. It's what you expect. He's a quality player. And then this one from Jonathan David, who played for Lille, who last time he spoke about Liverpool, when I put it in our chat, he didn't have great things to say about Liverpool then, but now look at what he's saying. I think they are the best team in the world right now. That's fantastic words from the manager, but then also opposition players and opposition managers who are now kind of giving us the kudos, the
Yeah,
stuff that we probably do deserve. It's just great to hear, and long may it continue.
absolutely. And our fans are out there singing, "We've conquered all of Europe, and we're never going to stop." And the team on the pitch is actually reflecting that. And not only in the Champions League, we're reflecting it in our own league as well. And these teams are the best of the best across Europe.
Yeah,
And quality, game recognizes game, as they say. And these players know what they've had to go through in that match, and they understand the problems that our players have caused them. They understand the intensity that we've played with, and they know they've been in a game when they've played us. So I think this is testament to what Slot and the team are doing this year. And just to touch on Harvey Elliott, absolutely, look, he's a player that I've always rated. My concerns around Harvey have always been around his physicality and athleticism and his ability to, play with the intensity that we need. And I think he can, but I think sometimes he could be found maybe wanting physically. I think there was one situation towards the end of the game where he tried to shield the ball in the
mm,
penalty area, just got moved out of the way. And that is the concern. But I think European football will suit him better because it's far less physical than the Prem. And I do think he's going to have a pivotal part to play as the season goes on. And I think that, as I said, I think the only reason we haven't seen him as much is because he's just coming back from injury, and we're nurturing and taking time with players that have been injured, unless it's a position where we have no choice but to play the player like Konate. But even with Konate, we've given them an opportunity to rest today. So I think
yeah,
people don't need to be concerned that the squad will get utilized. These players are going to get opportunities over the next few weeks. We're in 4 competitions. It's
yeah,
impossible that these same players are going to play every single game. There's going to be plenty of rotation. All the players that you want to see get given an opportunity, they are going to get those opportunities. I think that's something that we don't need to worry about. I think Slot is being very astute, and I trust in him
mm,
to do the right thing when it comes to rotating these players. But just to go back to Harvey Elliott, I saw a quote from him earlier on in the week when it was suggested that he might move on from Liverpool, and he was unequivocal in his love of the club and his willingness to want to play for this club and fight for his place and come on and make a difference. And I, as a fan, I love that. That's what I
yeah,
want to hear. And it shows in his performances when he goes on the pitch, because you can see he's trying his hardest, which is why I
mhm,
can forgive the mistakes, because I know he's putting it all out there on the pitch. And what I think he brings that's unique to the table is the vision, the creativity, when he's in those advanced positions. That pass, bypassing, I think it was Salah, and getting it across to Nunez against not Nottingham Forest. Sorry, not Nottingham Forest, against
right,
Brentford.
Brentford, yeah,
Brentford the other day. That pass doesn't get played if Harvey Elliott's not there,
yeah,
because he's got that quality to be able to open or pick a lock. He's a lock picker. And when we talk about someone like Curtis in the 10, I love Curtis. I'm a big fan of Curtis, but he's what I call a ball feeler. Pause. And what I mean by ball feeler is that, as you said, he hangs on to the ball. Sometimes it's just that little second too long, and I'm
half
just like,
second, yeah, yeah,
let it
Yeah,
absolutely,
go, let it
yeah.
go. But then other times, like tonight, that sublime pass that he played through to Mo Salah, he's got that quality too. But what I actually think is that pass from him exists and it's provided more when he plays deeper. Because
mm,
look at the position where he played that pass from. That isn't the traditional 10 role. That's deeper in midfield. And I think that's where he gets his head up and he can see the game. And I think that's where actually Klopp has helped him develop in the ability to be able to do that from a deeper area. And he's got more discipline on his defensive side of his game. But just to go back to Elliot, yeah, I think, look, he's going to be pivotal, as are going to be many of our squad players that
mhm,
are on the fringes. I think Chiesa has a massive part to play towards the end of our season. I think as he ramps up his fitness, gets more used to the intensity of the game, because towards the end of the game, I kind of saw why he might not be starting on the slot, because there was a transition, a player went past him and then he started walking. walking back, and I was thinking that's probably why you don't start games, because in that situation you've got Diaz killing himself to get back. You've got Gakpo breaking the neck to get back, and Chiesa's just wandering around. Now on the transition, if we win the ball back, that's going to be great because he's already quite high up in the pitch. But for the defensive aspect, which if you listen to what Slot says in his interviews, is such a massive part of what he's looking for from his players. It's the reason why Núñez still gets opportunities, even though he doesn't convert or we don't create as many chances for him. His work rate on the pitch, making tackles. People talk about, he gives away, he fouls more than he takes shots. But I'm like, it's that work rate that Slot appreciates, because you've got your striker losing the ball because he couldn't, control it, and we couldn't play off him and build up play off him. His first touch was poor, but guess what? He's the player that's winning it back on the edge of the box and setting the attack off again. And we, as fans, might not value that from a centre forward, but Slot absolutely does. And I think these are the nuances or the little critical things that may make the difference between a player being considered a starter in our team and not. Diaz today wasn't great in terms of in front of goal or, in the attacking sense, but guess what? His industry, the work rate, the amount of field that he covered with his work to go and get the ball back and try to create opportunities, that's going to be appreciated by the manager. And I appreciate it because I kind of understand that's why we're sitting top of the league and we've only lost one game this season. Nobody outworks us. They don't.
Yeah,
and that's the bottom line. That's the common denominator. Yeah.
I think I saw a stat earlier on. Let me just see if I can find it. It was talking about running stats, and we have, here we go. Dexter, thank you. Hopefully this is correct. But we're running just over 11 kilometers per game currently, compared to 14 kilometers under Klopp. So it's not about running for running's sake, Patricia.
Yeah.
Actually, what we're seeing is the smart, is the intelligence. What we would love to see as part of a Liverpool side, and probably what I've grown up watching as well in kind of the older days, where you have John Barnes. He may not run all day every day, but he'll make the smarter runs, right?
Yeah. And just two more points I just wanted to make. I made the point about Elliot and him caring, and I think that comes across, and I think that's a very important point. The one concern I have, and I think I mentioned this on another pod, is if you look at the number of the goals that we've conceded in recent times, they are almost identical. It's a player getting to the byline, pulling the ball back across the box, and the fullback, most times it's Robbo, not being able to get there or cover it. But actually, what I saw today was that Shimikas actually did get there. He actually was able to clear the ball, which is unfortunate that it fell directly to the striker. But in the wider context of things, that's got to be something we've got to look at. That is the only type of goal that we seem to be conceding, unless it's an absolute worldie from outside the box or something. Every single goal seems to be get to the byline, pull it back across the box, in behind the centre backs, have players running onto it, and have a shot on goal. And that's how we concede. We've got to stop that. We've got to stop that from happening. We've got to be better at dealing with that situation.
No, I totally agree. I think I've mentioned it before as well. Even tonight, we're seeing that same type of goal. But I trust Slot. I think he'll get it right. We probably just need to it's those nuances, isn't it? It's moving a player 5 yards closer to a position that will block that, but then something else may open up for the opposition. So who knows? Patricio, I think we're going to be coming to the end of tonight's stream very, very shortly. But let's, we've spoken really, really positively about this team. I'm going to give you guys a really, really difficult task. I think it's a difficult task, but man of the match, who are you going to go for?
So what you want me to go first, do you?
Yeah,
think,
man, straight into it.
The man of the match for me, I think, has to be. Do you know what? Oh, what was I going to go for? I think I've got a couple of contenders there. I think Nunes is up there, and I know he didn't score. I think Salah, of course, is definitely up there. But I think Nunes, for the intensity he put in, he wasn't just like a Rashford just walking about aimlessly. He tracked back and won the possession multiple times, even if he is losing the ball. I think he played really well. I was really impressed with Maka as well. And then, yeah, obviously Salah with the goal. But I think man of the match, yeah, we'll probably most likely have to be Salah then.
Yeah, Salah. Okay, right.
Yeah,
Michael,
Salah,
who are you going to go for?
I wished that Chiesa had scored his shots on target. I wished. But because it didn't, then it's Salah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 2 for Salah.
Yeah.
Stitches, who are you going to go for?
Ooh, I'm going to go a bit left field today, although I could have given it to a number of the team. I mean, I have to give an honourable mention to Kwanzaa. He's not had the best of times in recent
Yeah.
times, but I thought he put in a solid performance today. Van Dijk was Van Dijk, and I think he's guilty of just having such a high standard that when he has an average game, which is still a very high standard, he gets overlooked. But, you know, he marshals that defense so well. I thought Bradley was industrious, but I think it's a toss-up for me between Shimikas and Diaz. Now, just Shimikas because I just think he's found a level of consistency in his performances in recent times, and he doesn't let anyone down, I don't think, when he's been selected recently. Diaz, because I think he's been going for a bit of a tough period, and despite not being as effective in the attacking areas today, I thought his industry, and he did carry a threat on the break, and he's transitioning with the ball was pivotal for us in that first half. So I have to select one. I think I'm going to go Diaz. Just.
Yeah. You know what? Simicast was in my mind as well. Just, and I think it's more the confidence of having. And I'm not. This isn't a dig at Robbo. I'm not his biggest fan. Certainly over the last kind of 18 months. But it's just a calmness, having someone that is competent enough that is able to see out certain situations, and he kind of he bossed his areas. He was really good on set pieces, quick, intelligent, and slowed it down when he needed to, made the right pass. For me, Simicast was really, really good.
Yeah, he actually won the ball back that led to our goal.
Yeah.
Because he made that tackle that drove Lille players crazy because they thought it was a foul. But when you watch the replay, it's just the way he slid in and reached around and just managed to lunge the ball towards Jones
absolutely
for that pass to take place. So
yeah,
he
I mean,
deserves a
just
lot
look
of
at those
credit for his
stats there.
performance.
Yeah, look at the stats there. So 90 minutes played, 2 clearances, 2 tackles, and 93% accuracy in passing, 3 key passes, 3 out of 4 long balls, 1 big chance created. He won 3 out of 5 duels. So it was a really, really good all-round performance, and something you probably would want from your left back. I'm really, really happy that he got to play a good amount of minutes. I didn't hope that I wish actually would be our first choice. Certainly, just give him 5, 6, 7 games consistently, constantly, and see how he gets on. I'm sure he couldn't do any worse than what we have seen currently from our legend in Robbo. But yeah, so I think it's been a really, really good conversation, lots of chat, and I really want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. All the comments have been really, really good. I know it's been a bit of a late one from our UK guys, but there's some more chat later on this evening, this morning, depending where you are in the world. Our US guys will be hosting a chat. I'm sure they'll be discussing a lot of the things that we discussed tonight. So come catch them. They'll be on, I think it's like 2 a.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe it is. But yeah, get in touch. We'll be back tomorrow. My name's Charlie. I'm your host. Michael, Patricio, Stitches, thank you again. I hope that we'll have another good conversation in the near future. I just want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you to everyone on the chat as well. Good night. Up the Reds, top of the league again.
Take care, guys.